What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is October the 27th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points, we don't really have too much, although the market is very hyped up right now. So Dow is up 0.5, S&P up 0.89, NASDAQ up 1.3. Some of that is because of optimism for companies putting out their earnings, but most of it is because of Trump kind of saying that there is going to be most likely a deal with China coming down the pipeline. So it is rather comical. I think generally now people will always be buying the dip in any case, especially if it is tariff related, because we all kind of know that a deal is going to be done at the end of the day. So you kind of have a little bit more of a dip and then it gets bought up. So in reality, I think this is kind of a good thing. Aside from that, we do have a lot of other big catalysts as well that's really going to be fueling optimism in the broader market, and most likely really pushing it from the fear to the neutral category this week. Getting right to it with stock number one, SoFi. And interestingly enough, it is top 10 most heavily traded during the pre-market. And so it is up quite a lot. So up 3.86%. No news, no SEC filings. They do have their earnings coming up tomorrow. So that should be a pretty big deal. Aside from that, 8.3% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 98.7 million shares overall being shorted. So definitely good to see shorts recently return a significant amount. And today it does look like, assuming everything, we will be having a new all-time high for SoFi. So I think that would be a perfect transition going into their earnings. So it is up right now, like I said, so with it at 30.12. It is trading between this R2 and this R1. 29.33 is going to be a strong support. 30.89 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Realistically, I feel like there is a little bit more upside than down. So potentially we could be hitting this R2. But again, the 52-week high for today is a 30.30. So I think generally that will be kind of the target to kind of watch for. And looking right over here, you can kind of just see that it did not really break that so far. I believe it did break it during the overnight, but not during the actual true pre-market. So should be an interesting day for SoFi, same as NIO. It's not getting that much volume, but given the news of potentially Trump and China coming to some deal, that's going to be really pushing NIO higher. And I think it's been on the kind of fence a little bit with that $7 range. And plus there's been some pretty good operational updates over the weekend, which I'll kind of share with you on my dedicated NIO video, but it is moving higher. Moral of the story, 10.6% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 146 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts recently did return a significant amount. So definitely good to see for that. Right now with it at 706, moral of the story, it just needs to stay above 7. That's it. I know I've been saying that for a while now, but it just needs to stay above 7. And if so, then you could see it start to easily transition to this R1. Tomorrow we do have a very key registration number data coming out. And I think a lot of people are really going to be watching that very, very closely as a sign if they're hitting their marks. And so if so, then you could see that 783 pretty much being hit next. Moving on from here, Beyond Meat. So this stock's all over the place. I actually even just posted this one on my Patreon because during the overnight trading, it was trading at like $1.70, for instance. So this is why I've stated many times in the past, have a broker that has access to 24-hour trading, because you can easily buy stocks that are getting largely suppressed. And oddly enough, because a lot more people getting access to these brokers such as Robinhood or IBKR, you can, like, there's a lot of volume. Because I know the age-old thing, a lot of people always just said, hey, the overnight trading, there's minimal volume, blah, blah, blah. You can make a lot of money. And sometimes I actually even, it's not day trade, I guess, evening trade, just solely on the overnight. So Beyond Meat was getting hit quite hard, but it is recovering with the broader market. So it is now down only 4.8%. So sitting at 208. Key level to really watch for, or I guess 209 now, is that 204. That's going to be that key support level that you really want to watch for Beyond Meat to hold. So 204, just kind of watch for that. And then when it comes to shorts, 21.2% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 81.7 million shares overall being shorted. Moving on to the next one, tickers CLIK. So CLIK Holdings, it is up 89% because of their earnings that they did put out after hours on Friday. So kind of unique, and it looks like they hit a home run. So pretty good stuff. Revenue increase 89.3%. So take a deep dive into this if that's your thing. But it's not heavily shorted on a side note, so 1.58% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 8,000 shares. So most likely they are not going to be playing a very big part in today, with at 11.22 trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 10.44 is going to be a strong support, and then 12.96 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And given the momentum in the broader market, it is fair to assume that you could see a nice push sometime today to this R1 potentially. So I think this one will be a pretty good day trade, getting a massive amount of volume today. But do your own due diligence and just kind of watch for kind of key support levels ultimately. And then moving on, Open Door. So a lot of kind of more momentum plays and speculative stocks are getting a lot of volume. But Open Door up 4.5%. No news from them lately. Just a lot of speculative topics brought up over the weekend. I do have a dedicated kind of video or a channel that covers momentum plays such as Open Door. So I'll cover more deeper dive into that on that video, but nonetheless it is gaining some pretty good momentum early this morning, up 4.3%. so this will be another good day trade potentially. But aside from that, shorts, 21.9% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 155 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts are going to be fairly active as per usual. Right now though, with that at 8.31, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R3 and this R2. So 8.38 is going to be that key pivot, so just watch for that to be that next strong target. If it's able to get above there and stay there today, then you could see a nice transition to that $9 range. And then flip side, 7.96 followed by 7.70. So just kind of watch for a lot of those, but I don't think that there's too much downside for today. Of course, I could be wrong, but I think the market is very hyped up, and definitely it makes sense. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Do you own any of them? Is there any other stocks that you're trading? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.